All right, so what's good, man? It's your man, Dr. BOA. 70% of divorces are filed by women. And the reason is that women don't want to be married, but they still have the fantasy of being queen of the world for a day that can only be provided by a dream wedding. So they do want the wedding, but then the whole concept of marriage is dead to them after that. The issue is that once you walk down that aisle and say, I do, a legal marriage represents a contract. So she can't just walk away. So she sticks around and sticks in it for as long as she can until finally it gets to the point where the benefits are greatly outweighed by her desire to be free, to live her life however she wants to. And on the way out, she's going to take as much of your resources as possible in order to live that life. Let's take a deep dive on this one. But first, let's elevate to a higher plane. Prepare for takeoff. Now, what this means is that women who are in that scenario don't view you as a man, but simply see you as an extension of her womanhood. She sees you as a means to an end of achieving the goal of the queen of the day fantasy wedding, the animated edition of her life experience, all condensed into that one day. Now, somebody sent me a video on IG of this obviously feminist-minded chick who obviously has education and has herself a little career. And she says she's tired of hearing men complain about women divorcing men in marriage and men not being, winners in marriage and always being set up to fail the moment they decide that they're going to marry a woman. And she said some really scathing things about men. And she thought she said them in a really slick and laid back way, but they're simply vicious attacks on our manhood and masculinity and the way we view these things. This isn't an attack on her or any women who view this. This is simply informing men of how women think, the majority of women think. And we're going to break down some of these fallacies as well. But let's take it to listen to her video, man, and we'll come back and chop it up on a real tip.
I've been really on this kick about men complaining and about not wanting to be married. As if marriage is such a bad thing, as if only women want it. But then, I'm a lawyer, so I have to look at the good and the bad of both sides. And I really can't ignore the fact that it's 71%, or actually 70% rather, of women who initiate divorces. So when I think about that, perhaps it sort of validates men not wanting to be married, or men not wanting to tie up their finances, or men not wanting to tie up their freedom. Let's be real. Women probably don't want to do it either. That's the one thing y'all men don't understand. We'll be okay because women are the high earners these days. But I'm kind of tired of hearing about men talk about the financial losses they gonna potentially take if they get married and divorced. Baby, you ain't had no money from the jump. Your girlfriend make all the money. Your wife make all the money. Because we all know right now, black women are the high earners. Women in general are the high earners, the most degree. So let's be real about that. But I think it pushes us to consider how we consider the people that we want, the people that we're with. And I think the 70% of women who initiate divorce, that's a really important number. Maybe women should consider short-term partnerships. Maybe we shouldn't be looking to be married. Maybe
Now, before we do anything, let's cover this widely perpetuated fallacy that women being higher earners equates to them being better financially situated than their male counterparts. Because there's no truth to that. You notice they never say they're better situated financially. They always say they're higher earners. They earn more. Well, let me tell you what that equates to. In order for her to earn more, she has to have education. Education equals student loan debt. And that student loan debt is doubled because you can't have any career with just a bachelor's degree. You at least have to have a master's, and the majority of them want to be at the upper echelon of education, so they go ahead and pursue the PhD. They're in student loan debt that they'll never recover from. Secondly, making more money equals more frivolous spending for a woman. If a woman has a two-seater Benz, or if a woman has a small Benz, and you give her more money, she's going to get a bigger Benz. If a woman has a nice condo, you give her more money, she's going to go buy a home, even though it's just her. If a woman is taking nice vacations, she's going to take those vacations and fly first class every time she goes, or she's going to try to fly private, or she's going to take more vacations, or she's going to take more people with her. And more than anything, she's more likely to have her income drained by those around her because she feels responsible for caring for people and catering to people, which is a woman's inclination. But she'd rather be used by people around her than to give all of that energy to a man. The third thing, the I don't need no man mantra equals no real man will put up with my masculine foolishness, and I will not embrace my femininity in order to be able to have a situation that is mutually beneficial with a real man. Now, I want you to think about all of those mindsets and ask yourself, how many of those really matter to us as men? Women are not in better financial situations than we are. And it's such a travesty because we all know that these educated career women will not marry a broke dude. So for her to say your girlfriend or wife makes all the money, it's just a fallacy. It's just her double talking and making opposite points about the same topic. So the fact that she can say you have nothing to lose because your woman make all the money anyway, that's foolishness. That's why all of the educated women are complaining that they can't find no man. The majority of women with educations and careers are single, never married and single. So you have to understand that when these types of jabs are being taken at us, man, it doesn't really matter what a woman says. You just need to be aware of how women think. This one woman doesn't matter at all. But the fact that she speaks for the overwhelming majority of these single, highly educated career women says a lot about the fact that you and I shouldn't have any inclination to even consider these women for anything serious. You know, the bottom line is this. You men must understand that women who think along these lines live in a fantasy world where women are dominant while men are the submissives. The problem is we don't live in that world. So when you meet those women, they are the opposite of what you want, because in their minds, you are the opposite of what they want. They want a man who's going to come into their lives and see things their way or no way. When in the alpha sphere, we view things our way or no way, and no way is okay. Now, what you hear is a woman who's saying that women should adopt that mantra. My way or no way, and no way is okay. And that's fine if women want to adopt that mantra. But the reality of the scenario is this. More women than not sharing this outlook. So this isn't a thing where this is just a woman who represents a small group of women or who represents her own ideology. No, she represents the ideology of the majority of American women. If you meet a woman with an education, she views the world this way. She truly believes that having a good job puts her above a man who is an entrepreneur. She believes that having a psychology degree puts her above a man who has a plumbing business with 50 employees. She believes that being an ear, nose, and throat doctor puts her on a higher level than a man who has a trucking company with 10 rigs on the road, with 10 drivers. She believes in education more than she believes in success. In her mind, education equals success. And with such an illogical mindset, how can you ever hope to build anything with that woman in your presence? She doesn't even understand logic. So why would a man who has built a life up that he loves or built a life up of a boss even consider dealing with a woman who views things this way? Because truth be told, we don't need a woman's money. We don't need a woman's education. We don't need a woman's ideology that she's this smart gift to the world. We need a woman who buys into our process. We need a woman who buys into the process of our progress and does everything in her power to contribute to that. The problem is a woman who has her own agenda will never buy into yours. If short-term relationships is what these women want, then they must understand that for us, that simply means a sexual relationship. Stop giving these women who can't buy into your process anything other than a sexual relationship. And then, even then, they must have compatible feminine energy for that. But what we're hearing is the mindset that women have because they have convinced themselves that their education has elevated them above a man who is probably 5 times as successful as she is. When we talk about real success, stop worrying about marrying these women and stop listening to guys who are telling you that you should be marrying these women. Stop listening to women who are telling you you should be marrying these women. Stop listening to women about anything, but definitely about how you should be marrying these women. That day is gone. There are no more wives. There are women who want weddings, but they don't want to be married. There are women who want to be partners. They don't want to respect the intimate trilogy, God, man, woman. If you meet a woman who doesn't respect God, man, woman, flee the scene. Pew! Get ghost. Because all she could do is bring negative energy into your life. And I'm talking about the type of negative energy that you can't recover from. You must build a life that you want to have. And if you're going to deal with a woman, she must fit into that life. I'm not talking about you got to clear out a new space for her. If you build a life, there's a space for a woman in it. You make sure that any woman in your life fits into that space. You do not create another space for a woman, and you damn sure do not try to put a square peg in a round hole. If she doesn't fit, then you must quit. And truth be told, these days, man, the only women who truly seek marriage are single mothers who need help, in-home help, with their kids by other men. Single women with no children are not looking to be wives, not in this particular society. In any other society around the world where they have been able to secure something, whether it's education, whether it's milk cartons, whatever it is that represents that they have attained a level of success, whether it be true success or not. If that's their mindset, they are not fit for anything other than, as she just said, short-term relationships, which for us equates to nothing more than the time it takes to get in, get off, and get out. I'm out.